Alright boys, I'm back, and so is the Rumble. I don't know if you've heard or if you missed it, and I wouldn't blame you if you missed it because there was no build-up, fanfare, or excitement to this year's Royal Rumble, but it happened, so how bad was it? Well, it was the same garbage as always. It's the same slop we've all been expecting from the WWE and Triple H. But because I hate myself, I put myself through watching the whole show, and now I am here to complain to you about it. So how does the second biggest show of the year open up? Maybe some pyro, maybe some screaming fans, maybe some music, something exciting, you know, something to get the blood pumping? No, of course not. The Royal Rumble opens up with us watching wrestlers show up to work. The whole thing of seeing people walk into the arena was cool the first time they did it. It was alright the second, but by the third time it was boring. And now it has become tiring. It has been almost 2 years where we keep seeing every show open up with people walking backstage, and nothing ever happens in these segments. People are just walking, and Michael Cole is just running his mouth saying absolutely nothing the whole time. This is a very lame way to open your Royal Rumble. I have seen retirement homes that have more energy than the opening of the Royal Rumble. So we have the walk-in segment, and of course, the walk-in segment ends with Triple H. The last person we see is Triple H. And if this segment is supposed to be showing off the talent and the wrestlers who are gonna be on tonight's show so we get excited, why are you showing us Triple H? Triple H is not a wrestler, he's not a character on screen, he is a company executive. He works backstage and has nothing to do with the storylines on TV. So why are we wasting TV time on Triple H? And one thing I will have to bring up and give major props to the crowd for, when Triple H showed up on the opening segment of the Royal Rumble, the crowd booed his ass. It wasn't as loud as it would get towards the end, but even in the beginning, people were sick and tired of Triple H and his big nose. And how can you not be? Triple H has put himself all over this product. This is not the WWE anymore. This is the Triple H show. Everything has to do with Triple H. All commercials have his voice. The opening package is all about him and him narrating it. Every appearance, every poster, everything has to do with Triple H. WrestleMania has his stupid ugly mug on it, and even the game now has Triple H on the cover. But that is a rant for another time. So after the walk-in segment, we go on to the opening hype package for the show, the part that is supposed to get you really hyped up for watching this Royal Rumble. And would you believe me? Would you believe me if I told you not only was the opening hype package narrated by Triple H, but Triple H was the only person in that video. That video focused on Triple H, and at the end, footage of him winning the Rumble, saying how important he knows the Rumble is, and then saying his dumbass catchphrase, and then we go on to the show. So before the show even started, we have already gone more than we ever wanted of Triple H. So now the actual show itself starts, and the first match is the 30 women Royal Rumble match. First person to come in is Ric Flair's daughter, and the second person is Alexa Bliss. Now, if you wanted this moment to be more impactful and to have a longer lasting impact, you really should have created a storyline between these two on weekly television where we saw them having arguments and just drifting apart as a team. But none of that has happened. They've had a few promos and a few moments where they say we're not really friends, we're more like frenemies, but nothing major has happened between those two for us to get excited to see them wrestle. The tag team is not splitting up, they're not arguing on TV, they're not at each other's throats, they're just being normal tag team partners. So why would we get excited to see Charlotte and Alexa fight each other if nothing has been built up between them? Person number 3 is Kiana James, number 4 is Nia Jax, number 5 is Ivy Nile, number 6 is Lola Vice. Also, real quick, if you do not watch NXT or don't care about NXT and know nothing about NXT, well, good luck, buddy. You're not getting away from NXT tonight. There are a lot of NXT stars on tonight's show, and you just have to deal with it. Number 7 is Candice LeRae, number 8 is Jordan Grace, number 9 is Becky Lynch, number 10 is Sol Ruka, and Sol Ruka has to be the MVP of tonight's show. She had the best showing and the best moments, showed off her in-ring ability, and got a great crowd reaction. Number 11 is Roxanne Perez. Number 12 is Maxine Dupri. And when Maxine was coming out and running towards the ring, the way that she was running, she must have had moon gravity installed because she was running like a damn fool. It was a very wacky, weird way to run, and it looked like she just couldn't get any gravity on her feet, and she forgot to uninstall moon gravity. When Maxine Dupri goes into the ring to do her spots, it looks very stiff and very scripted. But that's not the only thing that she messed up. As the next person is coming out, the camera is focused on Maxine Dupri, and she reacts to the person coming out before the music even hits. So it kinda ruined the moment for everybody else who didn't know who was coming out, and of course it was Natty. That's why she had a shocked expression. Natty recently turned on her, so they're trying to build something with that, but because Maxine is so uncomfortable, so heavily scripted, and doesn't know how to naturally act in the ring, she reacted to something that didn't happen, and it just killed the moment. We know that you know that Natty is coming out, but we don't know that Natty is coming out. So wait for the music to hit and then react like a normal person. Why are you reacting to something that didn't happen? Just looked amateur. Maxine Dupri is not ready for the spot they have her in. If the company really wants to make a star of this girl, they really need to take her off TV, have her train some more, and then put her back on TV, because she is not ready for the spot she is in right now. And she is getting exposed hard. And if they ever want her to get over with a crowd, pull her away until she gets better. But as of now, they are sending her out there to get buried. Number 13 is Natty. Number 14 is Liv Morgan, who is also the winner of tonight's Women's Royal Rumble. Number 15 is Lash Legend, and Lash Legend had a very Kane run in this match. She was being built up as the monster and unstoppable force in today's match, which felt rushed and out of nowhere because nothing on weekly TV was building Lash Legend up as a monster. If they wanted her to have the monster run in today's Rumble, then they could have built her up as a monster on weekly TV. But because Triple H is the one who runs the show, that is too complicated for his little brain, so nothing like that ever happens. So Legend's monster run felt forced during this match. Number 16 is Zelina. Number 17 is Raquel Rodriguez. And one thing that happened to Raquel is when she was eliminating Charlotte Flair towards the end of the match, she was standing over the top rope, and out of nowhere from the back, Liv Morgan threw Raquel out of the match and eliminated her. They're probably building something up between Raquel and Liv Morgan. Maybe this will play a factor in Liv Morgan's WrestleMania match, since she had to screw over Raquel to win the Rumble. But once again, this company is now being run by Triple H, so what would most likely happen is absolutely nothing. This moment will be forgotten, memory hold, and never brought up ever again. Judgment Day will go on like nothing ever happened, and this moment will be wasted, like every other moment in this company. Number 18 is Chelsea Green. Number 19 is Julia. Number 20 is Io Sky. Number 21 is Asuka, who got eliminated from this match by Kairi Saint. It was an accident. Kairi did not want to eliminate Asuka, but she did, and Asuka reacted to it, so now they're probably building a feud between Kairi and Asuka. Maybe Kairi will finally break away from Asuka and they'll go on to have singles runs, but once again, Triple H is the one who's running this show, so what will most likely happen is absolutely nothing. This moment will most likely be forgotten. Asuka and Kairi will continue to be in a tag team, most likely until Asuka retires. Number 22, Rhea Ripley. Number 23, Bayley. Number 24, JC Jane. Number 25, Nikki Bella. Number 26, Lyra Valkyria. Number 27, Kalani Jordan. Number 28, Kairi Sane. Number 29, Brie Bella. And number 30, Tiffany Stratton. Overall, this match was sloppy and chaotic. They were having a lot of issues during this match when it came to eliminations and entrance. Back in the good old days, when this company could book a proper Royal Rumble match, what was the main thing that happened? Anytime somebody was coming out, the action in the ring usually stopped so the cameras could focus on the stage and the countdown. But in tonight's show, that didn't exist. People were coming in at random times and eliminations were happening while people were going through their entrance. Somebody would be fighting in the ring, about to be eliminated, but somebody is coming out at the same time. So you can see the cameras struggling to decide who to stay on. Do we stay on the entrant or do we stay on the guy that's fighting to not get eliminated? And that happened a lot through this whole night. And you can just tell that this company just didn't practice this match. They put no thought or no effort behind the booking of this match and how the match was gonna flow. It's the first thing that you should think about when building the Royal Rumble. How are people getting eliminated and when are people coming in? So things like this don't happen. So we don't have somebody get eliminated when somebody's coming in so the camera doesn't miss anything. But that did not happen. It was a chaotic mess. Nobody knew what was happening. And that's not the only issue that they had with the Rumble. Another issue that they had with both Rumble matches is how people were coming in. The gimmick is one person comes in and then I think every 30 to like 40 seconds another person comes in. But in tonight's Rumble, they were sending people out there. It was chaotic. It was non-stop. People were coming right after the other. Somebody came out, they went into the ring, they did 2 moves, and then the countdown was already happening for another person to come out. We would be on number 2 when the other guy finished his moves and then the other person comes out. It was rapid fire the way that they were bringing people out at their Rumble. And you can just tell it was because nobody had practiced or thought how this match was gonna flow. So they were just gonna have everybody come out right after the other, non-stop, to keep the energy high and the momentum going. But that did not work. In other Rumbles, when somebody came out, it was build up. There was a time and a place for somebody coming out. It made sense. Something happened in the ring, it stopped, and now people are coming out. But in tonight's show, everybody was coming out randomly. It was non-stop people coming in and out, and it just ruined the flow of the match. It was chaotic, and you could tell that they did not know what they were doing. Liv Morgan ends up winning the Women's Royal Rumble match, so that's good. Everybody wanted to see Liv Morgan win. She is the biggest women's star in the company right now. The only issue is I don't see what they're gonna do with her. Is she gonna go after Jade Cargill? Well, that doesn't make sense. They're both heels, so that won't be a good feud. Is she gonna go after Stephanie Vaquer? Most likely, but they haven't had anything yet, so they're gonna need to spend a lot of time to build a feud between those two so it can be something interesting to go into WrestleMania. But what am I saying? This is the Triple H show. None of that will happen. They'll just wrestle each other at WrestleMania with no feud or hype behind it. Then we move on to the second match of the night. It is Gunther versus AJ Styles. And if AJ Styles loses, he has to retire. So how was this match? Well, it was a Gunther match. So if you have seen one, you have seen them all. There were a lot of chops, a lot of sleeper holds, and some more chops just to add some spice to it. If the phenomenal AJ Styles cannot get a good match out of you, then you are hopeless. Gunther has proven day in, day out, match after match, pay-per-view after pay-per-view, title reign after title reign, that he is not meant for this. He is one of the worst wrestlers in the company right now. He has no charisma, and his in-ring ability is some of the worst we have seen in a long time. He is an overrated jobber, and the only reason he is in the position that he is because Triple H really likes this guy, which makes perfect sense. Both of these guys are untalented, uncharismatic, and total borefests. It's like Triple H is looking in a mirror. It's his other half. Gunther is being forced down our throats like Triple H was in the early 2000s. Nobody wants him. Nobody finds him entertaining. He hasn't done anything of note, nothing interesting. He's been in this company for years now, and he still hasn't done shit. He's been a champion for most of his career, and he's still a low-level bum. He hasn't evolved as a character, and he hasn't improved in the ring either. This guy is given moment after moment. He has retired Goldberg, he retired John Cena, and he retired AJ Styles now, and nothing about his character has changed. This guy still gets no reaction when he comes out. When Gunther comes out on Raw, it's like you're watching TNA from 2017 to 2018. It's dead. Nobody's making a sound. Nobody cares. Gunther comes out, he cuts a boring ass promo that was most likely given to him by Triple H. Triple H probably practiced this promo himself, thinking that it was him, gave it to Gunther, and is living through Gunther. This guy does not deserve to be here. This guy is a waste of time and a waste of space. This guy is a black hole of charisma, energy, and money. All this guy is doing is taking money from the company and wasting our time. He is wasting people's time with these boring ass matches that never change. This guy is a glorified jobber. Jinder Mahal somehow has more moves in the ring than Gunther. Gunther has 2 moves, the chop and the sleeper hold. Jinder Mahal at least had like 5. Jinder Mahal is a better wrestler than Gunther. Also, Also, this whole segment was disgusting. If this is really the end of AJ Styles' career in the WWE, because he lost. AJ lost this match, by the way. He didn't tap out to Gunther. He passed out, unlike John Cena, so you can already tell that Triple H changed his story real quick when all that backlash about John Cena tapping out, so he made AJ pass out, so you can tell how Triple H feels about his decision, but AJ Styles lost. That means that he has to retire. The company just wasted one of the few remaining stars they have to this. There was no build-up, there was no excitement, there was no feud, there was nothing behind this match. And you end AJ Styles' phenomenal career with this. You give AJ this. You couldn't even give him WrestleMania. You had to end his career at the Royal Rumble. If this is really the end of AJ in WWE, it is pathetic. This is such a sad state. The way that AJ Styles went out in the WWE is disgusting. It might even be more insulting than the way he went out in TNA. Let's move on to the third match of the night, which is Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn for the undisputed WWE Championship. Unlike the last match, the right thing happened in this match, and Drew McIntyre put that bum Sami Zayn down for the count. Only thing that I don't like about this match is that it was too long. This match should have been 5 minutes. A 5-minute destruction of Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn should have gotten no offense. He should have been beaten around the ring and then pinned by Drew McIntyre. Sami Zayn hasn't evolved his character since the day he debuted for this company. He is the same person that he was back then. What is Sami Zayn's character? What is the one thing for Sami Zayn that every feud that he has, every storyline, every match always circles back to? What is the one thing that Sami Zayn always goes back to? Kevin Owens. His friendship with Kevin Owens, and if they are friends or enemies. This guy, and Kevin Owens too, haven't changed their characters since that day. They came in as friends, they had that feud, and then they've been having the same version of that storyline to this day. Every Sami Zayn feud always circles back to Kevin Owens because this guy cannot do anything else. And it's so boring. How many times are we going to see Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens team up or fight each other? Somehow this match will lead to a feud or to a team up with Kevin Owens because that's all this guy does. This guy is not an entertainer. This guy is not a wrestler. He does not even look like a wrestler. He looks like he belongs at the back of my local Tesco begging for change. This guy does not need to be here. There's so many people in this company that don't belong here. That's why there's no star power, no energy, no charisma to this show anymore. It's because we have bums like Sami and Gunther taking up space and wasting our time with their shitty matches and shitty storylines. Drew McIntyre wins. Now we move on to the main event, the 30-man Royal Rumble match. Number 1 is Obafemi and number 2 is Braun Breaker. As Braun Breaker is making his way towards the ring, a man with a mask attacks him out of nowhere and takes him out. He throws him in the ring and then Obafemi tosses his ass out the very next second. And this is why I say this company will have no future stars, because Triple H doesn't know how to build stars. Braun Breaker is the guy that the company is building up as their next face. He is the future of this company, and they bitched him out like this on the Royal Rumble. He was exposed, humiliated, and treated like a bitch by nobody. Braun Breaker did not even make it into the Royal Rumble. He spent a second in the Royal Rumble before he was eliminated. He got his ass beat and then humiliated. Why would you do this to your rising talent? This guy is supposed to be the future, and this is how you treat him? You make him into a joke, an embarrassment, and you humiliate him on the second biggest show of the year? What is the point of this? Are you trying to bury your next main eventer? Number 3, Solo Sikoa. Number 4, Rey Mysterio. Number 5, Rusev. Number 6, Matt Cardona. And during the start of the Royal Rumble, Obafemi is given a very dominant run. He eliminates all the people until number 6, and he is treated as a big deal. Number 7, Damian Priest. Number 8, Javon Evans. Number 9, Mr. Iguana. Number 10, Trick Williams. And before I move on, during this match, the commentary and the company was really focusing on Obafemi, Javon Evans, and Trick Williams. All those guys were getting a very good crowd reaction and all have momentum behind them, and the company was building them up as future main eventers and people who will main event WrestleMania in the future. However, none of that will happen because Triple H doesn't know how to make stars. At this time, Obafemi, Javon, and Trick Williams all have momentum behind them. That is because they're new, people are excited to see what they're gonna do, but we all know how Triple H does his thing. He's gonna let this momentum die out, he's not gonna capitalize on it, and nothing will happen with these guys. This is what will most likely happen to all three of these people. They're gonna be given a boring feud at the start of their careers. If they lose the starting feud, they're gonna get pushed down to catering, forgotten until their contract runs out. If they win their first feud, then they will move on to another feud for probably the US or Intercontinental Championship. If they win that feud, they're gonna have the title, they're gonna have a shitty reign, and then they're gonna lose the title on some random episode of Raw or SmackDown, and then they're gonna be pushed down the card, forgotten until their contract runs out. If they lose the second feud and don't even get a mid-card title, they're gonna go straight to catering and then forgotten until their contract runs out. No matter what happens, it always ends the same. They're gonna be forgotten, they're gonna get pushed down, and they're gonna leave once their contract runs out. And that is because Triple H doesn't know how to build stars. He doesn't know how to capitalize on momentum, and he doesn't know what to do to get people over. And all of these people are not gonna get anywhere near to the level that they can, and they're not gonna become main eventers because Triple H doesn't know how to do his job. The only way that any of these people make it and become main eventers, and by main eventers I mean Triple H main eventers who are just jobbers that the company treats as main eventers, is if they have one skill and one skill only. A Sami Zayn level of ass kissing. To make it in today's WWE, have to kiss up to the boss. If you do not do that, and then you're gonna end up as LA Knight being buried and jobbed out every week until your contract runs out. So if these guys can kiss Triple H's ass as good as Sami Zayn does, they might get something. But if they don't do that, then they're gonna get nothing until their contract runs out. Then they're gonna move to TNA or AEW. Number 11 is Cody Rhodes, and the best thing that Cody Rhodes did tonight was that he did not win the Royal Rumble. Finally, a year where Cody Rhodes doesn't win it. Number 12, El Grande Americano. Number 13, the original El Grande Americano. Number 14, Royce Keys. We'll see what's gonna happen with him, but most likely nothing will happen because Triple H doesn't know how to make stars. Number 15, Austin Theory. Number 16, Bronson Reed. Number 17, Dragunov, the man with the worst tattoo in the wrestling industry today. And something funny happened with Dragunov. When Brock Lesnar is in this match later on, there's a spot where he's in the corner and Dragunov is chopping him. But Brock Lesnar no-sells this guy. Brock Lesnar screams in this guy's face and then throws his ass out in the ring like a little bitch. And when Brock Lesnar got up in his face and screamed, you could sense the fear in Dragunov's soul. And it was so funny finally see Brock Lesnar press one of these Triple H guys, because Triple H just loves his little men. He pushes these little men as they are built like Brock Lesnar. And once you have somebody like Brock Lesnar who is a legitimate badass and you want him to job out and work with somebody like Dragunov, it's just not gonna happen. Dragunov doesn't have it. His gimmick is that he's a fighting man that doesn't back down, but when Brock Lesnar got in his face, you could really see the bitch in Dragunov. It's just a fun moment that happened in the Rumble. Brock Lesnar pressing one of Triple H's pet projects. Number 18, La Parka. Number 19, Dragon Lee. Number 20, Logan Paul. Number 21, LA Knight. And of course, LA Knight got the biggest crowd reaction out of anybody on tonight's show, and for some reason, LA Knight is still being buried and not in the main event, while in the main event we have bums like Jay, Cody, and Gunther. And then they're wondering why this company is failing. Number 22, Brock Lesnar. And going back to the idea of this whole night being chaotic and the company not practicing the Rumble matches, when Brock Lesnar gets eliminated, it happens during Jey Uso's entrance. And you know how Jay has his entrances. He comes out from the crowd and he takes 10 to 20 years to make it to the ring. But during that time, when the camera is focused on Jey Uso making his way to the ring, Brock Lesnar gets eliminated by Cody and LA Knight. And Brock Lesnar's elimination just happens. There's no build-up, there's no excitement, nothing. They barely even talk about it. Why would you not have his elimination be build-up for a crowd reaction? Why would it happen in the middle of Jey Uso's entrance. That's why I'm saying that nobody planned this match and nobody knew what was happening. They were just sending people out there to send them out. Fuck what's happening in the ring. Number 23, The Miz. Number 24, Rey Fenix. Number 25, Jey. Not only did Jey take 20 years to make his way into the ring, but once he made it to the ring, he ran that shit back and restarted his entrance. And as he is yeeting in the ring, he stands on top of the corner, and for some reason, nobody comes from the back to push him off and eliminate him. Number 26, Roman Reigns. And by far, this was the fastest Roman Reigns entrance. He got in that ring in less than a minute, and that's unusual for Roman Reigns. As he makes it into the ring, he locks eyes with Jey Uso. He tells Jey Uso to run it back, but as Jey Uso is about to run it back, Roman Reigns slaps the taste out of Jey Uso's mouth, which was great to see. Number 27, Jacob Fatu. Number 28, Penta. Number 29, Randy Orton. And then we get to number 30. And it is the one, the only, it's Gunther. That's who number 30 was. Number 30 was Gunther. Sorry, no Chris Jericho for you. I know we heavily hinted to it and we said a lot of things about Chris Jericho, but Chris Jericho is nowhere to be found. So Roman Reigns wins this Royal Rumble match, which is great. It's always great to see Roman do what he's meant to do and beat some ass. But the issue I'm having with this is, what can we do with Roman winning? Are we gonna have him go after Drew McIntyre? Well, Drew McIntyre is a heel, and I know the company is building Roman up as a babyface, but Roman works a lot better as a heel, so to me, he's still a heel. Doesn't make sense for him to go after Drew, because at that point, it's gonna be two heels going after each other, and also he doesn't have anything to do with Drew McIntyre. So that only leaves CM Punk. But the problem with that is, Roman and CM Punk wrestled each other at WrestleMania last year. Last year's WrestleMania had Roman versus Punk. So what can we do this year to make it exciting? What can they possibly do to build up this feud? Because last year's feud was fucking shit. Last year's feud was about Paul Heyman, and that was awful. So what are they gonna do this year? What is his problem with CM Punk? Is he still angry about the Paul Heyman thing? Does he still want Paul Heyman back? No. So what can we possibly do with Roman Reigns winning? Is Seth Rollins gonna come back and cost him the title? But that also doesn't make sense because Seth Rollins doesn't like CM Punk. So what can you possibly do to build excitement with Roman Reigns? You're gonna either have to change the champion, so you give him somebody that he hasn't wrestled before, or work really hard to come up with a really good feud with whoever he's gonna wrestle. But what am I saying? We all know that's not gonna happen. Also, is Roman Reigns gonna come back at a normal schedule, or is he still gonna be on his normal Roman schedule? Is he gonna leave and not show up until Elimination Chamber? Is he only gonna show up 2 weeks before WrestleMania? If we really want a feud between Roman and Punk, Roman needs to come back at a full-time schedule until WrestleMania so he can build up something good for WrestleMania. We cannot have another WrestleMania back-to-back with no storylines, no feuds, and no interest going into the show. Why would anybody want to see that? We already saw them wrestle last year. So if you want us to see them wrestle again, please give us a reason to get invested into them wrestling. But that was just the show. Overall, the show was the same old garbage we've been seeing from this company for years now. Triple H didn't do anything new. He fell on his face, and of course, he messed up. Now, there is two other things I want to talk about that happened around this show that don't really have to do about the wrestling aspect. First of all, there has been a lot of discussion about the attendance to this show. The company said that this show sold out, but the WWE always lies about their attendance. On TV, the arena looked empty, but people who were there showed videos showing that there were a lot more people and it just looked empty on TV. So was it empty? Was it packed? Did they sell out? Was there overflowing with fans? Well, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if the arena was packed or if there were so many fans there that they couldn't fit all of them and people were waiting outside. None of that matters, because what matters is what people see. And on TV, the arena looked empty. So now that's reality. It doesn't matter how many people were there. The arena looked empty on TV, so the arena was empty. People will always believe their eyes over what you tell them. So if somebody sees the show and he sees an empty arena, then the arena was empty. And that is the worst thing that can happen to this company, because this company doesn't care about anything else. It doesn't care about viewership. It doesn't care about shit wrestling. It doesn't care about the shit storylines. All this company cares about is their public image. Then they can come out and say that they're doing great, they're making more money than they have ever made before, and that nothing is going bad. But when the arena seems empty on TV, then that illusion falls apart. How can you be making more money than you have ever made before if the arena is empty? How can interest be the highest it has ever been when arena arenas are empty. That is the only thing that the WWE and TKO cares about. I don't know whose job was to make sure the arena looked full for the TV, but they fucked up and the arena looked empty. Even if it wasn't, it looked empty, and that will do more damage to this company than an actual empty arena. Another thing that I want to talk about that happened after the show came to an end, WWE had those interviews. Triple H, as always, came out to defend his decisions and how the show went, and the Saudi crowd heckled him, and that's all he deserves. Triple H deserves nothing but criticism, because if he is gonna waste your time, waste your money, then you deserve to make it known that you do not like the garbage that he is feeding you. This company said that this show was gonna be big moments and big surprises, and nothing happened. This company, a few weeks back on Raw, when they had the crossover with Stranger Things, Adam Pearce said, "Who's gonna break the walls down?" I only know one wrestler who breaks the walls down, and that is Chris Jericho. They made a huge hint that Chris Jericho is coming back. So everybody thought that he was gonna come back on that Raw. It didn't happen. Then everybody coped and said, "Oh, they're saving Chris Jericho for the Rumble. Of course he's gonna show up on the Rumble." They made hints about him, and they said big surprises and big returns on tonight's Rumble. And there was no Chris Jericho. There were no surprises. There were no returns. Nothing that was promised happened in the show. The biggest return you had was Brie Bella. So where the hell is Chris Jericho? If you go on the AEW website and go to the roster, you'll see Chris Jericho is still there. He's still an active member of AEW. So either deals fell apart, Chris Jericho turned them down, or this company was lying to you when they said they're gonna have big moments and big surprises. Brie Bella does not count as a big surprise because nobody cares about Brie Bella. This show was promised to be great, but it turned out to be shit. Where else have you seen this? Oh yes, WrestlePalooza. We were sold the same thing when he came to WrestlePalooza. It's gonna be a big night with big returns and shocking moments, and none of that happened. WrestlePalooza was a waste of time, and the Rumble was the same old garbage that we've been getting from this company all this time. This company cannot go on with this shit. You can't promise big returns and shocking moments and have none of that on your Royal Rumble. This is the second biggest show of the year, and there was no hype, no fanfare, nothing. I'm pretty sure most people didn't even realize that the Rumble happened because the build-up was such shit. This show was a waste of time. Thank you all for watching.